guys, it's Brandon Miniman from Pocketnow.com, and in this video we're going to take a hardware tour of the Acer neoTouch S200. But first, some specifications. This device runs on Windows Mobile 6.5 Professional, the latest. It also has a Qualcomm 1 GHz Snapdragon processor, which is really high for a mobile device. In the next video, we're going to go through the software and see if that actually makes it faster, and we're also going to talk a little bit about battery life. It has 512 megabytes of storage ROM, but you can also expand that up to 32 gigabytes with a micro SD card. Plus it has 256 megabytes of RAM, which is a good amount, but it's not as much as, say, the Touch Pro 2 or the HTC Touch HD. It's got 8 GPS, Bluetooth, Wi-Fi, the stuff you would expect from a high-end smartphone. And it is 12 millimeters thick. And if you remember the Touch HD, which is a very similar device to the neoTouch, it was also around 12 millimeters thick. But side by side and in the hand, the neoTouch actually feels a little bit thinner, even though they're around the same size, probably because the edges are actually more pointed. So let's take a look at the device. The screen is 3.8 inches diagonal, just like the Touch HD, WVGA resolution, so that's 800 down and 480 across. It's a resistive touch screen, so you got to give it a little bit of pressure, but the screen sensitivity is quite good. That said, the screen is a little bit too mushy compared to other devices like the Touch Pro 2 and the Touch Diamond 2, that now have more firm screens that kind of feel closer to capacitive than kind of the older style resistive touchscreen devices. Let's look closer in at the top here. Up here we have a speaker plus a front-facing video camera, a proximity sensor to turn off the screen when you're on a call, and a light sensor. Going down here, it says Acer, and then we have some kind of cryptic buttons here that light up when it's dark. So we have call start and call end, obviously. And then we have a back button, and then a square, which is actually the button to take you back to the home screen. Oddly, this button and this button pretty much have the same function. They both will take you back home, though obviously call end will end the call if you're on a call. Let's take a look on the side. It has a chrome strip all the way around the side that's just a huge fingerprint magnet. Here we have the standby button, which will turn on the device. Going on to the bottom, we have mini USB, which is great because it's not proprietary, and we have a microphone. On the other side, we have a dual action camera button for the 5 megapixel camera, a soft reset hole, which is nicely placed outside of the device, not under the battery cover, and a volume rocker, which is on the right side. Usually we're pretty much used to by now the volume rocker on the left side, thanks to HTC, so this is a little bit different than other devices. On the top, we have a 3.5 millimeter headphone jack, which is good. And we've also got the stylus over in this corner, which is unfortunately collapsible, really cheesy feeling stylus. And unfortunately, if you put the stylus in wrong, it can actually get jammed. So you have to get it just right so it fits. But if you put it in kind of turned to the side, you see, this is how it ends up. So you got to get your fingernail and pull real hard. So not a good design in terms of how they put the stylus up in its silo. Here on the back, we have a huge shiny black piece of plastic which picks up fingerprints and scratches way too easily. And I say scratches because I've had this device for just a few hours now, and it may be tough to see on camera, but there are already tiny little scratches on the back of this device. And it's literally been in my pocket for about 15 minutes. So the back is very susceptible to scratches, which is very unfortunate. Here we have a 5 megapixel camera with autofocus and an LED flash. Let's take off the battery cover, which fortunately isn't a sliding battery cover. It's more of a pop-out cover. Kind of pry with your fingernail. Back here we have the slot for the micro SD card, battery, which is of size 1350 milliamp hours, and slot for your SIM card. So overall, the hardware on the Acer neoTouch is thin and it looks great. Unfortunately, Acer still hasn't gotten it right in terms of build quality. It's not up to par with what HTC produces, for example. There's a lot of use of plastic and materials that really pick up on fingerprints and that scratch very easily, and it feels kind of cheap in hand. Fortunately, the neoTouch is an inexpensive device. Right now you can go to clove.co.uk and pick one up for about £270, which comes out to about $500 depending on the exchange rate of the day, which is pretty darn cheap for a high-end Snapdragon-powered Windows phone. So that's really the saving grace for the Acer neoTouch S200 and kind of makes it more compelling. Coming up in the next video, we're going to talk about the software on the device, see how fast the Snapdragon platform actually makes this device and how well it's optimized to take advantage of that 1 GHz CPU. We'll be back soon with more. That's it for now.